Hello everyone. So for the past couple of weeks I've been working on this virtual camera rig that you can see here. It's for Unreal Engine and designed for real-time filmmaking and virtual production. So the main goal here was to add a lot of controls to the rig itself, so you don't have to put the rig down every time you want to do a change or move in the scene or whatever. So you can all do this while you have the camera on the shoulder, which should allow for faster iterations and quicker filmmaking just in general. So let me show you how this works. It's an open source project, so I'm going to share where you can find this, where you can find the blueprints and schematics and everything, so you can build this yourself. Yeah, so this is the rig as it is at the moment, and it's built around this newer rig. I don't know how to pronounce this correctly. Which is quite nice because it's cheap and it comes with these 50mm rods, which seem to be standard. So you can get a lot of clamps and attachments to work with this. Yeah, so other than that, I'll probably start with the biggest parts. So this monitor here is a Lilliput field monitor. It comes with an HDMI connection. So I connected with an HDMI to my laptop, which is currently running a 1070 card. There's a tiny bit of latency, of course, because of the HDMI. In future, it would be nicer to have an SDI monitor running off Blackmagic Decklink cards, but at the moment, I think this is very usable. So it gets the position data from the Vive Tracker, and yeah, next up is this one here. It's an S8, just a normal smartphone running Touch OSC. So this is like a really cool touch interface app. So you can design all the layouts yourself, and it transmits the data wirelessly through Unreal. I go into a bit more detail later how to set this up in Unreal, but it's really nice. So the OSC seems to be like my preferred protocol at the moment to transmit data. Also, I used to touch the OSC protocol for with an Arduino, which is inside here, and it gets like data from the potentiometers. Oh, it's not connected here. Reconnect it quick. Yeah, so I attached a few potentiometers, like this one here, dial, another dial here. I have like this basic joystick from Arduino Raspberry Pi that you get, and like a normal click button. I 3D printed all the parts here. So at the moment this is like printed with a microjet fusion is the method. I think it's like with sand and lasers, I don't know. But it's really nice. So how I did it was I modeled in some little tunnels so you can attach it with zip ties. So here and here as well, which is really handy. So it's cheap. You can just get it off, put it somewhere else. Yeah. So as I said, this is an Arduino inside here. This is an Arduino Nano 33 IoT, which comes with a Wi-Fi module. So it sends the data from the potentiometers through Wi-Fi. Same with the OSC protocol. Yeah. So on the other side here, I attached Vive Controller. So at first I thought, yeah, this is like the way to go to attach like joysticks and stuff and use the Arduino. But then again, we all have like these nice controllers with tons of buttons and stuff. So I made a little attachment for this. Yeah, let me just take this apart real quick and I'll show you. Yeah, so this is the 3D part. You can see this was just printed with a normal like layered 3D print system. This is just the first prototype. Yeah, so and it's built, I built it, it's built around this metal clamp. So this is like one of these. It's called a Nicey rig. I think it's a company, just a 50mm rod. I think this is much better than to print like an attachment because it's like metal and it's really strong and really sturdy. So yeah, I modeled this in here. So you can see you can just slide it in here. And this was modeled around the actual Vive controller. So you can just snap it in here. yeah, and it's it sits really well because it's like modeled off the original model from that you get on Steam with a Vive controller, so it matches really nice. To attach it, as I said, I modeled in on all the parts. I modeled in this nice little tunnels here, and you can just run a zip tie through. So let's do this on the other side as well. You just snap it in. Attach it. Yeah, and it holds really well, so it's really strong after you attach it. So let's do this here as well. I tried to minimize the sensors that are or like the sensors that transmit the position data to Steam. And at the moment, as it stands, I occlude like 7, so it's like one here, one here, one here, one here, and on the inside there are like 3. But I think this is just fine, and it tracks really nicely. So I don't think there's a lot of occlusion happening, or yeah. So snap this off. Yeah, so this is like a perfect solution, I find. The only thing I realized when I attach it to the rig is, yeah, let me show you, is that it's like a tiny bit wobbly, but this has nothing to do with the clamp itself. Yeah, let me go over here. So when you can see here, so I can move it a bit, but this has to do with the strength of the controller itself. So you can tighten it a bit more, but still you have some, because it's so long and it's just plastic. It starts to wobble a bit, but it's fine. You can hold it like this really nicely. So yeah. So the other thing I wanted to show you was this button here. This in the front attaches directly to the base plate of the tracker. So let me take this apart as well. So as I mentioned, this base plate, I also 3D printed this, and I wanted to find a way to use these pogo pins, as they're called on the button, to connect to buttons and stuff. So this is really nice because all these connectors work when you just connect like 2 of those. I think this one here is the ground, and when you connect the ground to something else, so you basically shorten the circuit, it sends like a button press, which is really cool. So I 3D printed this, so this fits directly into here. And you can just screw it on the base plate of the rig. So the last thing I haven't talked about is this one here. So this is an NPF battery. It was originally from Sony, I think. And this one connects up to this blind spot. It's just a power adapter. And this one powers like a USB or 2 USBs and 1 normal power cable. And this power cable runs directly to the monitor, so it powers this one through this one here, and the Arduino and the tracker. So you can charge everything directly from, or power everything from one battery, which is nice. They also have like this battery indicator, so you always know how much power you have left. And another really cool feature is that it comes with these connectors on the side. So it has a USB-C and a micro USB connector, so when you want to charge everything, so when you're not shooting, you just can plug in one cable and it charges the battery and all the rest, so which is really cool. So it's not necessary, you can always like attach this separately, but it's I think it's really cool to have. Yeah, so I think I covered all the bits and pieces here from the rig, so let me show you how that all works with Unreal. So I attached the phone to the camera, so you get a sort of like a first-person view of how it feels like. I hope you understand what's going on here. So this is just a small test scene I made. Yeah, and it includes these two characters, just make some own characters. So first up, just movement style, so I can move around with the joystick, and back and forth stuff. I also have a tab here, basically does exactly the same. Yeah, so you can also like add the factor or move it up so you can move a bit quicker. Right. So I can move up and down. So let's position ourselves behind him maybe. So you can, I also include this teleport function to move around. So let's rotate. Let's move back a bit. Let's do this nice over the shoulder shot. So up a bit, maybe something like this. Yeah, so I also can change from here directly the focal length, of course. So there's the focal length. And you can see that we're getting out of focus, so I added the function to pick the focus. So that's on him. Let's reduce the lens for now and maybe increase the focal length a bit. I also added like function to do this all here on this one of these dial knobs, which is probably a bit nicer sometimes. Yeah, something like this. When I hit action, it just starts the mocap, this very dramatic scene. Yeah, something like this. As you can see, the camera is a bit shaky as it stands at the moment, so I added this Steadicam mode. It gets smoother, and I can also increase the strength if you want it super smooth. Yeah, for the focus itself, I can also change the focus by this dial. So you can see down here the focus distance changes. Yeah. So yeah, it's I also added like this. I just added this the next another shot tab. So let's switch through this, and yeah, there's another guy here. So I added this knob here to the mocap. So you can define where you want it to start. Let's put it over here. You do it like this. So it should be really easy like this to just set up the scene. Yeah. So to record, I can either put it on a button. For example, I have it here on the record button here. Just click on record. And action, please. So this is what we have so far. This is just the first part of a virtual production and real-time filmmaking toolset we call DogHut. As I mentioned in the beginning, we intend to keep this open source and free for everyone to use. So it was originally initiated by these two parties, so an artist collective, Rain Dogs Berlin, and VFX and animation studio Woodblock. So we intend to use this more and more in production over the course of this year and add more features and improve existing ones, and maybe give it into the hands of a experienced DOP and see what a traditional filmmaker or a cameraman thinks of this. Yeah, so we use this website called doghut.de to share this. We also have an email address over here and a mailing list, so if you want to sign up for this and want to be kept in the loop, please do that here. For the camera itself, everything that I just mentioned can be found here. So we have our own website with a few explanations how to what everything does. We share like the Touch OSC layout files, all the 3D printed parts, like all the buttons and stuff. You can download here and print it yourself if you want to. The more explanation, Arduino with a sketch that you can use, schematics, more information about the tracker with links and stuff, and a complete part list. So if you want to have exactly this, you can just go to this website and find out where to to get all the parts. Yeah, so I hope this is helpful for someone out there. Please contribute if you can, and let us know what we can improve. Okay, bye-bye.